You're listening to ASOTU CON sessions by Space Auto, recorded live at ASOTU CON 2025.
Michael's back again. Michael Wood, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I, much appreciate the Louis loafers, and I appreciate your style and panache. So
Thanks.
It's a pleasure to have you in the ASOTU CON Space Auto living room.
Yes, it's nice.
It's nice.
I love Space Auto, though.
I mean, these chairs are actually really comfortable.
They're better than the ones in the studios, that's for sure.
I know. I almost fell off of that chair because it's so high up and my legs are kind of short.
That's what I was like.
I know. So welcome back. We are live on the ASOTU CON podcast stage, powered by Space Auto. My name is Elena Ciccotelli. I'm the host and producer of the EVs for Everyone podcast. So, Michael Wood, Checkered Flag, Jaguar. Let's talk about just this insane ride that Jaguar and visibility. Can we talk about visibility that Jaguar has had in the past, oh my gosh, couple of months now too. So talk to me about just the roller coaster of emotions, not to get too technical here, as you have this front row seat to new product announcements happening and what's going on with the brand. So give me a little bit more of a behind the scenes peek.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a super exciting time to be in the Jaguar business. You know, if you really think about what Jaguar was in its inception, it was a vehicle that was niche. It was very much pushing the edge in everything that it did. You know, let's think about like the 1951 XK120. You know, it was the fastest road car of its time, and then came, as Enzo Ferrari described, the most beautiful vehicle ever built, the Jaguar E-Type. I mean, that was when Jaguar was who it really was. And then, you know, it went through some handovers, and Ford decided that they wanted to try to make it a volume brand, and it failed, unfortunately. And now I feel like we're kind of going back to our heritage. We're going back to being true to who we are and making a vehicle that is polarizing, but also pushing the edge of what automotive technology should and could be. That is what Jaguar is. And so those out there that are saying that we've abandoned our heritage, then you don't simply understand our heritage. You're not truly a Jaguar enthusiast if those are the words coming out of your mouth. You may be a Jaguar classic lover, and that's fine, but that's fundamentally different in my opinion.
Wow. Shots fired. I love it. So let's talk about just the EV landscape for a bit here. So I know the last time you were on the show, we talked about Scout and what they were doing with some direct-to-consumer things. They're probably not the most popular right now. You won't see anyone from Scout here today.
No.
So tell me a little bit more about just this overall vibe of these direct-to-consumer EV brands, right? Like a Scout, who does have this affiliation with VW.
And I think that has to be the fundamental point.
That is the fundamental.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. So we've got the lawsuit that's happening now from CNCDA. That's been filed. It's actively fighting. So, in your opinion, just what are some of the things that maybe people need to be more aware of when we're talking about just these direct-to-consumer brands? Like why are you holding back this sexy, attractive product that people obviously want, right?
Yeah. So I mean, with Scout, for me, it's just black and white. I mean, the vast majority of these states have very robust dealer franchise laws. I happen to live in one that has some of the best dealer franchise laws. Thank you, Don Hall.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, in the state of Virginia, it is written into the statute that if a new entrant comes in and they're owned by 25% or more of a current OEM that is offering non-direct-to-consumer, so the retailer franchise model, then they cannot come in as direct-to-consumer. It's not ambiguous. It's not like, well, does it mean this or does it mean that? It's black and white. So there is no reason they should be coming in as direct-to-consumer. Now, the flip side of that coin is that we have to accept as an industry that the demand for direct-to-consumer says a lot about our business model, and that it shows that there's a lot to be desired from the customer as far as progression in how we take care of the client when it comes to the sales side of things. Because, Joe Eberhardt said this to me, CEO of JLR North America. And he said, he was like, we have to have these partnerships. He's like, we have to find a way to deliver the car to the customer better, but we have to rely on your robust after sales. Because, I mean, ask a Tesla owner, how great is that service experience? It's
right.
awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
You're right.
So we have the competitive advantage there.
Yeah.
And so we have to continue to lean into that while also making sure that we are focusing on fixing our variable side of the business.
And so when we talk about brands like, I don't know, Scout, Rivian, Tesla, right? And so we have the dealership model as this place for mobility solutions, right? And there are a lot of conversations at this conference, in fact, of staying in the barn or there was some like weird phrase. It was like keeping everything in the dealership, right? And so when we talk about EV, which is a brand new, or I should say newer fuel type for consumers, how are you communicating like with your customers on like, listen, you're gonna go on this EV journey with us. I got you from A, B, C, D, E, and maybe even F too, right? So how are you keeping all of that? And like what I was talking with Alex about, like keeping all of that basically like revenue and customer loyalty at the store level, right? Because I think a lot of these brands are just like, oh, I'm gonna like, you know, we'll have some little bit of fixed ops here and there, and it's like almost like an afterthought. No, you gotta actually have this full experience. It's called a dealership.
Right.
You may not have heard of it.
Yeah. What is it?
What is it? What is it called? I don't know.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think that if we can focus on providing a significantly better buying experience, then that initially will create the desire to come back to the dealership. But if we continue to provide an experience that is adversarial at best,
right,
then it's illogical to think that the customer is going to be like, well, you know what? I really hated that buying experience, but you know, I bet you they do. I bet you they service cars really well. Like nobody in their right mind is going to fucking say that. Right. You know, pardon my language, but like nobody's going to say that. They're going to correlate the fact that if you can't sell a car,
right,
you know, in a positive way, you sure as hell can't service a car in a positive way.
Yeah, exactly. And
so,
because these vehicles are becoming more complex and more intricate, there's more on the line, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, these things are you're driving around $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 iPhones.
Right.
You know? My phone does the damnedest things. So I would expect my car as an EV to probably do some crazy stuff too.
To do that, exactly. Yep. We are running up on time. I see that blink of an eye, and then it's over. Boom, done. Trends. What do you kind of have your eye on in the next half of the year, right? Some things, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be EV related, but things that are like, you know, shows up in your LinkedIn feed, your X feed, whatever social media, you're like, ooh, that's interesting, and you kind of like save it. You bookmark it. What are some of those things you have your eye on?
My thing right now is not buying into the hysteria of the tariffs, right? Like, you know, yes,
good point.
You know, JLR paused shipments, and yes, that caused us to lower our inventory, and yes, it made it a little bit more difficult. But it also had some positives. It lowered my floor plan expenses and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, I can't control what the governments of the UK and Slovakia and the US do when it comes to tariffs where our cars are built. But what I can control is my used car department. What I can control is acquiring more used cars, making sure that I'm feeding my fixed operations, and making sure that my sales staff have product to sell. And so you can insulate yourself from the tariff impacts of the new car sale by having a robust used car department. And admittedly, that's probably one of my weaker points in my business. So it's something I've got to lean into more and grow so that no matter what happens with Mango Mussolini, my staff is going to be fine.
Dang, that was a good answer. And Michael had no idea what I was going to ask him, to be fair. See, this is how much you trust me.
Of course I do. Yeah.
Michael.
You're the best.
You're the best. Thank you, sir, for spending some time with me in the ASOTU CON Space Auto living room.
Yeah.
Final question for you.
Sure.
What are you driving these days? Is it a Jaguar? Are you driving a Jag? Are you
I
driving
drive a Defender 110.
Oh, the Defender.
Yeah, and my wife drives a Range Rover Sport Autobiography plug-in hybrid.
Oh, the plug-in. I know. We got to get her on the show, too. I need her hot takes on there.
You'll hear her nice Long Island accent.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to call you later.
I'll call you later. I'm going to call you. All right. I love her already. it's been great to spend some time with you.
It's always good to see you.
Officially, face to face in real life. Michael Wood, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to this ASOTU CON session brought to you by Space Auto. At ASOTU, we're obsessed with uniting people around one big idea, that thriving people are the only path to a thriving and profitable industry. If that resonates with you, head over to morethancars.com to join our email list and explore our full list of podcasts.